Personal notice, danger's my stock and trade. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you got a job for me, George Valentine. Write full details.
Let George do it. Too Near the Sky, another adventure of George Valentine.
Dear Mr. Valentine, my telephone number is Gramercy 3747. Can you remember that? Gramercy 3747? I've investigated you thoroughly, and I know you won't get it wrong. You won't forget. A man as good-looking as you are just couldn't be irresponsible, at least not about women, or maybe it's the other way around. It doesn't make sense. I know I don't make sense, but then if I did, that would show that I wasn't afraid, wouldn't it? And then I wouldn't be needing you, would I? Please, 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 the moment you get this letter. Mrs. Sonia Belsing, Gramercy 3747.
But we've been trying to telephone you all afternoon, Mrs. Belsing.
Oh, I know. My line's busy. It's always busy. But, my dear, you said Mr. Valentine.
I'm right here on the extension, Mrs. Belsing.
Extension? Oh, my. It's just like one of those quiz programs calling, isn't it?
Yeah. They have a hard time getting answers, too.
But, Mr. Valentine, all I want is for you to come to a party.
You want us to come to a party?
No one must know who you really are, so you'll be Mr. Valentine.
Huh?
But my cousin or something from out of town or Sioux City or Boston, do you understand?
Well...
Oh, but, Miss Brooks.
Yes?
He can't have a date, if you know what I mean.
Oh, well, I guess I could be Mrs. Valentine. I wouldn't mind a bit.
No, that's one thing you mustn't be.
Oh.
His sister, that's it. You'll be...
Mrs. Belsing, please, you said you were afraid. Of whom? Of what? Why?
There's an old, dear friend of mine who's just back from Lake Tahoe for the first time in a year. Vivian Hargrove. She's giving a party in her penthouse, the 32nd floor. That's the top floor of the Hargrove Sims building.
Yes, okay, so much for that.
Are you superstitious?
Huh?
I mean, it's rather a strange place. I hope it doesn't make you uneasy or nervous. Vivian, I mean. Oh, yes, and there's someone I want you to introduce yourself to. Eric Sims. But don't really say anything. You'll understand why when I meet you there. If we can't talk, I'll write a little note giving you instructions.
Mrs. Belsing, I'd rather understand everything right now.
So would I, Mr. Valentine, but there's no hurry. And besides, something has come up. What I mean is, by the time I see you, I'm sure I'll have the answers for you. I'm not a coward, and I've never made a false accusation in my life, but I am superstitious.
But why do you want us there? Superstitious about what?
Well, Mr. Valentine, murder, of course. Isn't that your business?
Oh, push the button again, George.
Well, I did, but the arrow just stays there on the 32nd floor. Crazy place.
But, George, we're late. Try one of the other buttons.
Well, the other elevators aren't automatic, so they're all closed up for the night.
Oh, fine. Me and my long dress and these high heels, they're no shoes.
Well, Angel, we take a case from a middle-aged maniac. We don't even know what she wants, so we shouldn't complain about walking up a mere 32 flights of stairs, should we?
I can't help it, George. This hike toward the sky gives me the queerest feeling.
Yeah, no. Nothing is deader than an office building at night.
And shadows. Lots of shadows. You know, I think if I believed in ghosts, I'd imagine them living in a place that... George, what is it? What?
It's nothing, Angel. You just bumped into a fire extinguisher.
Oh.
What's more dangerous to us is the sign over it.
What do you mean?
Yeah. It only says the 21st floor.
Oh.
Well, at least it should be a swanky party. Real honest-to-gosh penthouse, no doubt about that.
I wonder if there really is anybody up there. What we're walking up to. What kind of people...
Hello.
Hello.
I heard you on the stairs. Elevator stuck again?
Yes, that's right.
Well, this is the 31st floor. Where are you?
We're on our way to a party.
A party?
Yeah, upstairs, Mrs. Hargrove.
Oh, I see.
So, if you'll excuse us...
Oh, no. Excuse me, please. I didn't mean to be rude or curious. You see, I'm the general manager of this company. These are the executive offices on this floor, and my name is Eric Sims.
Mr. Sims?
Yes, come in, won't you? Got a chance to catch your breath?
Well, thanks, Mr. Sims. We will. I'm George Valentine, and this is my sister, Claire.
Pleasure. And you do look charming, Miss Valentine.
Oh, thank you.
Valentine?
We're cousins of Sonia Belsing.
Oh, of course. Sonia's quite a person, isn't she? I love her. I suppose she must have talked about me. She usually rattles away about everyone she knows.
No, I don't think so, Mr. Sims. But coming up, we were a little curious.
Yes, the size of your building.
Oh, our company's just on 2 floors. Real estate investments, Mr. Valentine.
Oh, I get it. You built the place.
That's it. And this is my bailiwick in here.
Oh, my, what a lovely office.
Perhaps you'd like a drink after all that exercise.
Oh, no, thank you. But I am warm. Do you mind if I open a window?
Of course not. Whatever you wish.
Those last 10 flights just about ruined me.
Use both hands, Miss Valentine.
What?
Get the window on both sides. It sticks. It's been painted just yesterday. The entire office.
Oh, yes.
You know, I'm not sure I like the color, though. It was Vivian Hargrove's idea. Wrote the decorator from Tahoe, and he came storming in here like a wounded hen. I couldn't argue with him. What do you think, Miss Valentine?
I'm sorry. I wasn't listening. George, come here a minute.
Yeah?
Look. Just look down there.
Way up in the air, aren't we?
31 stories. Might as well be 31 miles. Look at those cars in the street. They're so tiny.
Mm-hmm. Say, what's the overhang up there? Cuts off the view above.
It's a guardrail for the penthouse.
Guardrail?
Safety ledge, that's all. Just put up.
Well, there certainly isn't one down here. George, look, the way the wall of the building just falls off below you. Down, down, and down.
Excuse me, the draft. I have a little cold.
Of course. I was just enjoying the view.
Look here, I don't mean to be rude tonight, but I've been finishing some special work on my desk.
Yeah, sure, Mr. Sims, we understand. We'll go on upstairs to the party.
Well, Sonia may have given you the wrong impression. There really isn't a party.
What?
Huh?
It'll be just us, I mean. The few of us, the lonely people in the tower. Don't let us throw you. We'll manage to have fun somehow.
Oh, but I'm glad to have you, both of you.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Hargrove. If we'd known...
And I love the way you're dressed. I'll bet it was Sonia's idea. She thinks people should dress like Englishmen in the jungle. Oh, that sounds awful. All mixed up just like her.
Well, Sonia's an Elsa Maxwell.
Isn't she? Only I do wish there were going to be more of us. So far, it's only me and Rachmaninoff over there.
Well, don't let it worry you. Crowds scare me.
You're silly if you're polite. See, Mr. Valentine, I know exactly why you're here.
Oh, do you?
Yes. And I think you're beautiful like all the rest of them she brings. But I'm not in the least interested in yours.
You're not?
No. I've only been back in town a few days, and Sonia's been haunting me with men. Me, a married woman, you understand? Huh? I said me, a married woman, and I love my husband.
Oh, shut up, will you?
Shut up yourself. Shut up! Shut up!
Well, Rachmaninoff's quite a little gentleman, huh?
Forgive it. He's my brother, Peter Cannon.
And he knows not what he does. Hello.
How do you do?
Brothers and sisters should... pour yourself a drink, won't you?
Not yet, thank you.
You look pretty well poured.
Good guess tonight, Vivian. It's an improvement.
Don't you ever get tired of the same tune, Mr. Cannon?
Oh, no, it's the apartment. Tired of the same world.
Let's be nice, huh? I'm a host. I'll show you around.
My husband's apartment.
Vivian, please.
It is.
She means Hargrove did the decor.
Oh, well, it is rather an unusual place, isn't it?
Yeah, strange decorations.
Oh, I don't know. It's a hobby, that's all. He collected stuff.
He does.
Vivian?
What's in all the cases here?
My golly, George, look. Handcuffs, blackjacks, knives, dozens of them.
Mayhem and violence. Oh, don't look shocked. It's just a hobby. Oh, but here. Out here are the real prizes.
Masks. All over the wall.
Yeah. Rows and rows of masks. But they're all...
Yes, Mr. Valentine. Death masks.
Sure, that's right. Some from the South Sea, some from Africa. It's a good collection. It's one of the best in the world.
My husband is obsessed by the idea of death.
Oh, cut it out, will you? Guy's got a penthouse. Why not be unique about it? Now, some people like zebra skins. Well, he got a bang out of this stuff.
He is. He's obsessed.
Now, look, even out here, the roof garden. You see the statues? Sure, it's wacky, but a hobby. One guy's hobby, that's all.
Are you superstitious, Mr. Valentine? Are you? Are you?
Well, I'm beginning to think maybe I am.
Feel the wind. Look at the stars. It's a penthouse with wacky decorations. And that's all. Just picture a penthouse.
Because, Mr. Valentine, my husband is. My
Both of
husband...
you, please, be quiet, will you? Mrs. Hargrove, I know we've intruded and you don't want us, but let's get this straight. When I heard you'd been living in Nevada the past year, I naturally assumed...
Oh, no, we're not divorced. We're quite happy. We're quite...
The last time, Vivian, will you get out of that present
Hey,
tent?
take it easy, Buster.
Oh. Her husband's been dead for the past 6 months.
He says if you live too close to the stars, you've got to fall sometime. And he walks out here alone. And he moves toward the railing. Like this. And he stands on the edge and stares down. And then, very smoothly,
Mrs.
like a
Hargrove.
shooting star, aimed at the bow.
Mrs. Hargrove.
What? Oh. Oh, Mr. Valentine, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's dead. I know he's dead. He fell.
Well, there's no need for you to go along, too, you know.
Oh, I won't. Forgive me. I'm not really out of my mind.
Oh, no, not much. But you're gonna be, Vivi, if you don't stop it.
Here, please. It's this place. This crazy, haunted place. Sweet slice of heaven where just you and I killed my husband. That's what it is, Mr. Valentine. 6 months ago, I killed my husband.
We'll return to tonight's adventure of George Valentine in just a moment. Now, back to tonight's adventure of George Valentine. A penthouse, too close to the sky, decorated with weapons and curios and death masks. Sonia Belsing, who asked you to this strange place and this strange party that isn't a party, hasn't even shown up yet. You're not even sure why you're here. But if your name is George Valentine, you have a pretty good idea what needs to be done when Vivian Hargrove screams out that her husband is dead, that 6 months ago he fell 32 stories to the street, and then almost casually adds the remark that she killed him.
Mr. Sims, what sort of a man was your partner?
Hargrove? Oh, well, he drank a bit. Like his brother-in-law, Peter, there. But he was big, hearty, the greeter of the firm.
With an obsession about death?
Yes.
Uh-huh. And now his wife is all...
I really don't know Vivian very well. She's been away so much. See here, I really think it would be better if you and Miss Valentine would... well...
Yes. Okay, we'll be going. Oh, how is she, Angel?
Oh, hello, Mr. Sims. Well, she's all right now, George.
Perhaps I'd better go in.
Excuse me. Did you find the telephone, George?
Telephone?
Yeah, I did. I wonder if you'd mind if I went in to see Mrs. Hargrove, Mr. Sims. I'd like to tell her good night.
Well, of course.
In the meantime, I'll give you a chance to go over and pour some black coffee on those piano strings.
You say you used the telephone?
Mrs. Hargrove, when I hear something I don't understand, I like to get an answer fast. And straight from the horse's mouth.
In this case, the police, Mrs. Hargrove.
Police?
You said you'd killed your husband. Well, I didn't tell them why, but I asked them what happened. They say 6 months ago there was an investigation. That your husband had committed suicide.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I just thought I'd say it. But you really know it, don't you?
Yes. They were very kind at the time. I first knew it when the wire came. The ranger had left it in my cabin.
Wire? Ranger?
I was up at Lake Tahoe. Didn't Sonia tell you?
But why do you accuse yourself of...
Guilt, I suppose. I was in Nevada because I was going to get a divorce. I wasn't patient enough. I left him down here alone with his strange obsessions instead of helping
But
him.
that's scarcely cause for...
A feeling of guilt is a terrible thing. It gives you dreams. Like pretending he's alive when I really know he's dead. But I didn't ever act this way or feel this way until I came back for the first time a few days ago.
Why did you come back to the same place at all?
Well, the furniture had to be sold, the apartment leased, that sort of business. I certainly don't intend to stay here. I wasn't worried about it. My brother was coming with me.
Oh, yeah, that brother of yours is a big help.
Oh, he doesn't know any better, that's all. It's just the building somehow. The tower. Even before I came back, I was a little nervous. I ordered my husband's old office, Mr. Sims now, repainted, so I wouldn't remember him. I started out in that office. I was my husband's secretary several years ago. But the things up here I had to face, and I couldn't. All the souvenirs of death. I got so mixed up.
Why, Mrs. Hargrove? Maybe because you still think your husband's collection was just a hobby, the way your brother said? You've never thought it was an obsession that led to suicide?
I wish Sonia were here. She called from the drugstore if it were just the elevator.
Oh, everybody's upset. Maybe no one close to him thought he'd actually do it. Only in your case, you can't see any other explanation, and so you develop all this stuff about your own...
Valentine, no. No, Mr. Valentine, please.
But you...
No, I won't listen. I'm mixed up enough. I can't believe that. It had to be suicide.
All right. I'm sorry. Forget it.
You're afraid I'll go spinning off the handle again, aren't you?
No, skip it, will you, please?
I know the elevator wouldn't stop Sonia. But maybe I should see about having it fixed if it hasn't been...
I've already spoken to your brother about it.
Oh, Peter doesn't know what to do. Down in the office there's a separate house phone to the building engineer. I'll run down and talk to him.
Yeah, that might be a good idea, Mrs. Hargrove.
Give me something to do, you mean?
Maybe.
I'm all right, really, I am. But we'll do lots of things tonight. And singing and dancing, we'll have so much fun. It'll keep my mind off this awful place. We'll go out.
And, Angel, we don't even know yet why we're here.
Well, George, it wasn't just to take care of an hysterical woman. Sonia said she was afraid...
Hey, come on.
What do you think you're doing?
Hey, what is this?
Look at him, handcuffed. I did it.
Handcuffed?
Get me out of these. Valentine, take that key away from
no,
them.
you don't. No. English handcuffs at that. They're antiques.
Hey, what?
Now try and find your key.
All right, Buster, so you threw it to the birds. What's the big idea?
I was just standing here of all the ridiculous notions for a joke.
Leave him here, Mr. Valentine, and come with me, will you? Come with me out to the elevator. The arrow points to the ground floor, you see?
And earlier the one down there was pointing up here. So since then it must have...
No. Look at this arrow. You reach up, you can grab it.
Yeah, it's swinging loose.
It's been pulled that way, so nobody would guess
What do you mean?
that the elevator isn't broken at all. But it's not downstairs. It's right here. Right here.
Is that...
Yeah. Sonia Bells.
Yeah. And she's dead, all right. Been dead for some time, I guess. Since before we got here.
I was asleep in my room all afternoon.
Oh, Angel, take it easy.
Oh.
It's a knife, huh? More stuff from that crazy collection.
And George, here's her purse.
Now, we'll take a look.
Why, it's the note. You know, the note she told us she'd write, remember? To you with the instructions.
Here, let me see that.
Oh, no, you don't.
Let me see it. I'm going to call the police
Here,
and
take
tell
it
them
easy. Get going fast.
No.
Now, stand still, will you? She's calling the police.
Well, I got to tell them that Sims did it. He did it.
Sure, bright boy with the handcuffs. Who says so?
Sonia didn't like him, see? She was afraid of him. She wanted Vivi to get interested in other men so Sims wouldn't try to get next to her.
You make as much sense.
I know I've been drinking, but believe me, nobody close to Hargrove ever thought he killed himself. And it drives all of us crazy. But his death masks were just a laugh, that's all. They were a big gag to pull at parties.
Okay, Buster,
Don't you see? Sonia was wise. She thought it was his partner. It was Sims who murdered Hargrove. And I'm going in and help. Oh.
Now, Peter, you're going to stay right here for a while. Pleasant dreams. Get him, Angel?
Yeah, I talked to Lieutenant Riley. He'll be here as fast as he can.
Now, let's see that note Sonia Belsing wrote.
You know, George, it's funny. It was our instructions, all right, but she was going to fire us.
What?
Yes, it just says she's sorry to have bothered us, but she's decided to handle matters in another way. And, quote, don't say anything to anyone. Please, 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 Sonia Belsing.
Huh?
Darling, she must have been threatened. That's the only explanation. So she did know something. And look here, on the outside of the purse.
Paint. Little spot of fresh paint.
Mm-hmm, the same color as that office.
Hey, Mr. Sims. Mr. Sims. Angel, where is he?
Well, George, I've been at the phone. But he has handcuffs on anyway.
What difference does that make?
He's gone.
I know, and I've been asleep at the switch. I let Vivian Hargrove go downstairs to that very same office. It's Sims' office, all right. Come on, through here.
Peter, help! No! What's the window? There's a window! No, let go of me! Stop it! Mr. Valentine, help! They're going to fall. It's Mr. Sims!
My arm! Get it! Hang on!
I got it! Oh,
You're all right. Hang on.
he's falling! Oh, he was trying to push me. He's falling!
Oh, George.
Yeah.
Tried to kill me. I was here in the office. He followed me. He had those handcuffs on him. He hit me with them.
Come on, George.
Take it easy. Now get away from the sill.
It was awful. He was insane. He knew, I guess, that he killed my husband.
Mrs. Hargrove, it's all right now.
He knocked me down. And then he opened the window. I struck him. When I heard you coming, I screamed. What's that?
The police, I sent for them. Too bad they couldn't have flown.
Oh, Mr. Valentine.
Now, look, Mrs. Hargrove, stop crying on my shoulder.
If you live too close to the stars, you've got to fall sometime.
Stop it. His death was useless, and I'm sick of your acting.
What?
But if it hadn't happened, I guess we never would have caught you.
What? Yes. You saved my life.
What did you do, Mrs. Hargrove? Knock Sims out, have him ready, and when you heard us coming, give him the final shove so you could start screaming out the next act?
Mr. Valentine, he hit me. He hauled me over to the
He
window.
was handcuffed.
George, that doesn't make any difference. You yourself
How did he
said-
open the window, Mrs. Hargrove? No, don't touch it. Police like fingerprints. Come on now, how did he open it? It was part of your own act to order this place repainted, remember? So the sash sticks. They always do. You've got to push on both sides at once. And how are you going to do that, Mrs. Hargrove? When you're wearing handcuffs.
No, I'm an idiot.
No, Peter. You've just been trying to dodge the truth. And after all, Sonia Belsing picked on Mr. Sims just as you did.
Well, that's what she was going to tell us originally. Only then, the paint on the purse. Sonia got together with Sims. Began to realize what he'd already begun to suspect. That it was Vivian all along.
That's when Sonia wrote the note we found, saying she'd handle it some other way. Oh, it's not easy for a best friend or a business partner or a brother to decide what to do about a woman they suspect of murder.
I still can't see Vivian doing it.
Sure, it's hard to face, Peter. But Mrs. Hargrove admitted to the police she wasn't really a Tahoe. she was down here?
Yeah, I know. I heard him. But why?
Well, maybe she was ambitious. I don't know. Secretary married one of the partners. He was going to divorce her, so she knocked him off. Half owner. Then 6 months later, she comes back with a neurotic act to cover knocking off the other partner, Sims. Then she'd own the whole company.
Only she realized people were getting suspicious. She had to get rid of Sonia first, and then in we walked. No wonder Vivian was so scared and upset.
Hey, Peter, why do you keep playing that record?
Doesn't bother me. So happens I like my sister.
Yeah, kid, I know.
Just picture a penthouse way up in the sky. George, I still get dizzy just thinking.
Hey, that's not the line to remember, Angel.
Hmm?
We can thank our lucky star that we're living as we are. Let's go, Brooksy.
Robert Bailey is starred as George, with Francis Robinson as Brooksy. Let George Do It is written by David Victor and Jackson Gillis and directed by Don Clark. Also heard in the cast were Sarah Selby as Sonia, Robert Griffin as Sims, Lorene Tuttle as Vivian, and Jack Edwards as Peter. The music is composed and presented by Eddie Dunstetter, your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to Let George Do It. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.